YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. Look at this gorgeous AH-1W Cobra. Yes, the gun moves. 470 millimeter class. It is gorgeous. I'm gonna show you the entire procedure to start it right now. Yes, the lights switch, different modes. Comes with an included in the ready to fly option transmitter. You have to arm down here. This is from Sterling Kit. It's a Wolfbush Roban offering. The reason I'm showing this whole process is kind of weird. You see this? Up, down, okay? Once you're down, you can lift the canopy. You may find it easier to put a finger in here and try to lift, but it's real hard to get your finger out. So I have to use like a pinky finger with the blade straight to get this lifted because it gets in the way of itself. And I don't want you guys to rip off your little delicate details like this. Yes, you have to install those, even though it's a 5-minute install. We're gonna start by turning on the transmitter. It's a fly sky like what we have on, you know, a bunch of the other offerings. Currently, the LED mode is back here where we would normally do our panic button. We haven't set that up yet. We'll see if we need it because this already has GPS, angle, which would be like ATT mode, and then manual, which we'll talk about more. So we're gonna plug this in right now. This has a Roban receiver because this is ultimately a Roban helicopter, okay? We have plugged this in once inside to show the LEDs, but we haven't ever initiated full setup, okay? I mean, full GPS connection. You can see the light through this vent in case you guys are wondering. See that?
Oh, yes.
So that's pretty cool. So I'm gonna actually leave the blades at an angle so that we can see better. Now look, I'm gonna switch through the LED modes. See the top one's flashing. Then they go to a flash altogether. There's also one down here that oscillates on and off all the time, but it's hard to see, so we'll see that when we're flying. Then you do alternating flashing. Then you can do a strobe effect, which is super cool. Then you can do solid on, and then solid flashing, all of them, and then slow flash, and then all on, and then off. This is the standard setup here, okay? I really like the left-right, but it's a nav light, so at the end of the day, I want a nav light to work like a nav light should work, okay? Also, you can see that. I believe that's the green they're referring to. So this should have GPS lock within 5 to 10 minutes on the first go round, but this is our true virgin first go around, okay? So if you guys are brand new to the hobby, you don't know how to fly, this is what we call a GPS heli drone. Camera crew is gonna give you a real quick look at the gun turret. It moves with the cyclic, also known as the ailerons on an airplane. And when you're in GPS, you won't see any movement up here. So if you're trying to take off, oh, it's in run. Don't forget to put it down to cut when you first turn it on. It won't initiate without going to all sticks up. But then once you initiate, put it to cut so that keeps the motor from turning on. Also, you have to arm it. So just understand, this does nothing on this model, but if you have another offering, they have some landing gears and things like that. We'll go over those next, or not next, but hopefully in the next few months, we'll be doing those. GPS is gonna give you altitude control, positional control, and then the flight controller is gonna keep you level with disc leveling. Angle is gonna be disc leveling, but you're gonna be in charge of up and down and positional. So that's like ATT. And then manual is gonna put you in full flight control. It's not gonna disc level, but there's still some stabilization and flight controller involved, okay? So you're not gonna be flying it like just a basic plane. I don't think a basic helicopter. You're still gonna have a stabilizer and everything in there and flight controller. We're just not real, oh, that's green, guys. Okay, so come back here. As soon as you see green, hey, camera crew, here. Inside this time, we got a little bit of wind coming over our shoulders. Okay, so right there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go, this is cut, I'm gonna go to run, and I'm gonna go to arm. Okay. And this says off and ready to return to home, okay? So when you're in run and you pull that down, my understanding is it's supposed to start. Is that not our understanding? Okay, so we're gonna go like this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, maybe
and cut. And
okay, cut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then run. There it goes. Okay, so it's gonna spool up. So guys, what I did wrong is you need to be in cut while arming. Okay, now we're just gonna stay where you are. You good?
Yeah.
Okay, you'll notice that there's a change in pitch as it spools up. Don't let it sit on the ground forever. Give it a little bit of up on the collective, and there you go. Okay, a few feet off the ground is a good idea. There is some wind. Let's give it a couple of turns, see how it starts maneuvering. That's up against strong wind there. Oh, that is so sick looking. Oh, yes. I love it. Solid oscillation on the back. That is so pretty in and out, but then the strobe effect on the top. Okay, so now in GPS, let's see how she performs. As you can see, you can slip and slide. As long as you're giving it input and you let go, it's gonna be somewhat aggressive, but a smooth transition into aggressive stop. So as we're flying, we're gonna coordinate just a little bit so we can get that tail to move, but then we also wanna shoot the bad guys. Oh, that is so cool. Gotta love it. Blade cutters came with it. All the different things that you see on there all came out of the box. Decals went on really good. Clear, protective film was easy to remove. 470 class. By the way, this thing is a lot smaller than the big one we've got, okay? And it's a little bit bigger than the 420 sizes that we've done in the past, but it is about the same size as a lot of the 450s. It just depends on the inside mechanism that you're dealing with. I love all the blade cutters and everything show so good on that thing. It makes everything beautiful. Now, couple things to consider before you go into ATT. Shoot the bad guys, obviously. It's so cool. When you're ready to go to angle, you have to be on the stick. So they suggest going up. I'm gonna go ahead and go over here. It's not gonna change my, I'm just gonna go over here where the grass is a little bit taller just in case all hell breaks loose. I'm gonna point into the wind, give myself the best chance. First time I'm doing it, okay? Angle, oh yeah, that's nothing. Yeah, it didn't even drop altitude. Good. See that? Yep, and then you're just in charge of that. It's gonna blow in the wind now, but it's also gonna slip and slide more, so it's gonna look more like a helicopter that you're used to seeing. So when you see that gun pointing at you, no. That is so dang cool. I wish it was on the yaw. Oh, it'd be so much better. We might need to mix that and change it somehow. But boy, oh boy, that thing looks the part. There is something about a killing machine like the Apache or the Cobra or an MD-500 outfit with a bunch of missiles and guns that just gets the heart rate up. It is so much fun. And by the way, I gotta say, I love that you can change the lights on the fly. Now I'm gonna go to the alternate left, right, left, right. Oh, that is so sick. I love it because you can really see it. And then, oh man, that's so cool. Then you gotta watch out for the gun, see if it's pointing at you. Remember, gun safety. Don't point anything you wanna destroy. Never mind, this is a helicopter and it's a toy. So guys, really good, handling the wind well. I feel, was that beeping or was that in my head?
I did not hear it.
Okay, so I gotta try going to manual. So I'm gonna go up into the wind. I'm gonna see if I can truly fly this, okay? I'm going up a long ways because it's hard to get to this switch, okay? It's now manual. Oh yeah, she's in manual mode. She's fine. It's easy to fly.
Still stabilized?
Oh yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
Because I'm flying it. Okay guys, so there you have it. So now Brian Phillips RC is flying. Oh yeah, so good. It feels good, it looks good. Yes, I can do all the things I wanna do. I don't wanna upset it, but you'll notice it's up and down a little bit more. You gotta ride the stick, give them a shot of the sticks while I'm doing this, just a little bit. See how I have to go up a little higher? That's normal on this type of flight controller, okay? But I love it because you can do one of these maneuvers where you go up and just do crazy stuff like that. But I do want to warn you, it's windy and I'm not like an amazing helicopter pilot. So I will warn you, if you get this helicopter and you decide, hey, I've got what it takes to fly in manual, but you don't know what to do, I'm just gonna warn you, we're gonna be setting up a panic switch because it is really hard for me as a thumb flyer to get up there to that switch. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go up to altitude, hon. I'm in that mode. It sounds like it's getting dead. I'm slowing it down. I think it's just the wind. Yeah, it's just the wind.
Okay.
I could hear the pitch change. The reason I went to that spot is because I want to try return to home, guys. We may not get the chance. A 4800 is supposed to fly for a few minutes. I'm gonna just return to home. So I put the switch down to return to home. It's either gonna go down or up, depending on what your altitude is. It's about 9 meters is what they said, right?
Yes.
So 9 meters, of course, 9 times 3. And then it's gonna change where it's geospatially located, but then you could still adjust its overall position or cancel out of it. But there is a low, okay, so watch this. You see how the wind's fighting me? Watch this. I'm gonna point it into the wind. That's not gonna undermine the return to home. But then I can also say, no, it's gonna hit a grass chunk. I'm gonna just push it forward just a hair. So you can favor it forward just a little bit. You see this? Mm-hmm. Look at this. I'm just gonna walk it forward just a little bit. I'm gonna point the gun at the bad guys. So this is why a beginner can do this. It's because that thing will land. As soon as it lands, I'm gonna go to cut, okay? Let's bring it closer. Touchdown and cut. I cut it. It didn't cut itself, and you'll notice the crazy oscillation at the end. That's gonna be symptomatic on some helis. I could loosen the blade grips a little bit. Beautiful performance, really easy to fly. A lot less stressful than I was afraid. And yes, the blade grips did allow the blades to kick out of angle. Go over here and shine down the end of it. See how this one's kicked forward just a hair? That's why it was oscillating, okay? So the blade grips, we had a hard time getting the blade grips to have even pressure on left and right, or forward and backward, depending on where they're sitting. But boy, oh boy, this thing, it does all the stuff it's supposed to do. It does it really well, and it does it mostly out of the box. Okay, couple complaints. They call this a 20-minute build. Yeah, right, on what planet? There's like 100 steps. And they want you to use 15-minute epoxy. Waste of time. CA all that crap on. It's totally fine. You need to use a knife to ream the holes. Check out our Unbox build radio setup. It'll follow immediately after this flight. Guys, we'll show you all the no BS details that we always do, AKA me being annoyed about how annoying it is to build some of these steps. But at the end of the day, beautiful helicopter, definitely worth it. Guys, it is a relief for us when these things don't suck.
Yes.
You wanna know why it sucks when they do suck? Because we care about our partners. We want them to succeed, and they do too. So at the end of the day, we want this hobby to win. So if you wanna win with us, buy one from the links. Guys, listen, there's other people that sell a similar product, and that particular company doesn't work with us. So if you wanna support them with a one-fingered salute, buy it from this link. That link will help support Brian Phillips RC and show them that they should work with us too. At the end of the day, we love this helicopter. We love working with companies that make good products and back us up and let us tell the full truth, nothing but the truth, so help us God. And make no mistake, we tell the truth. The truth is expensive, okay? So come crash or hell or high water, we will share it with you here on Brian Phillips RC. Beautiful, beautiful livery. I was afraid that I didn't like the fade from the dark gray down to the light gray, especially with this clouds today.
Yeah.
I was afraid it was gonna disappear, and it looked gorgeous. The LEDs are actually bright enough to see. Weird. Good idea. Maybe some other manufacturers could take note of that. We are gonna be putting a panic button here, and we're gonna move this over here. What that's gonna eventually entail is moving this switch with a mix from manual all the way up to GPS whenever you press it. So pressing that button will force it into the GPS mode, AKA the top of pulse width modulation output. And that's easy to do, but I gotta figure out exactly how to do it. These FlySky transmitters are kind of a pain to work through. The touchscreens, it's hard to film because, by the way, I forgot to peel my factory protection. And when you do that, it does make the touchscreen a little bit easier to work with, but it's just, I've never had an easy time.
Did your timer start?
My timer is out.
Okay, so it's just...
So it was, no, it's gone.
Okay.
Because look, watch, that resets it. That's the way we set ours up. Now, that is not a factory setting. We set that up in our Unbox build radio setup. So not sure exactly how this is gonna release, but I'm guessing you'll see that, and then you might see an update, because this is a Roban flight controller. So we'll probably have another video that shows adding the panic switch, and then maybe another flight like down by the pond or something like that. But truthfully, at the end of the day, this helicopter does the trick. It's a Wolfbush Roban, whatever that means.
Yep.
But let's just call it what it is, a Roban. That's why the battery says Roban. That's why the box says Roban. At the end of the day, follow the links. You'll buy it. If your box says Wolfbush instead of Roban, then just don't think of anything awkward. So yeah, so the arming procedure that I didn't do exactly right is be in cut, arm 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever it is. Then go to run, the tail rotor will spin up, and then of course the main rotor will start. Beautiful helicopter, really well done. Good size class, easier to manage than the 500 we've got. The 500 we have is a lot bigger. It's like darn near twice the size, okay? So just remember, size class makes a huge difference in helis. Bigger is not necessarily better, but bigger is definitely better in a lot of cases, okay? This case, I think the bigger one is so much more money that it puts it just out of consideration, so it really doesn't matter how good it is for most of us. But for something like this, it's more manageable and it's big enough. If it's your first Warbird helicopter, is that a thing?
Well, yeah.
This is an awesome offering. I can't wait to see when they throw out an Apache at us. I can't wait to see when they throw out some of these. I would like to see a Sikorsky myself. I'd love to see a Chinook. Even though it's kind of like, what are you gonna do? Like put like little paratroopers out the side or something? I mean, why would that be cool? Anyway.
Also, the manual is good.
Oh yeah, the manual is probably like E-Flight down one step, like half a step. In fact, it's probably on par. They actually spell out full English written letters.
If you were actually
into
new,
sentences,
you could read it and understand like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do.
It actually explains a lot of the things that we bring when we're doing a video. And it does a good job of it.
Yeah.
So it's, I hate to admit, but there are occasions, we almost always read manuals on helis. You guys give us trouble all the time for not reading manuals. Well, we have to on these Chinese helicopters because like have no clue what they do.
Right.
Well, I can tell you this, return to home is pretty simple. This is pretty simple to understand. That only is weird because you don't know what it is. It's accessory position 1, 2, 3, okay? Or accessory point 1, point 2, point 3. Which doesn't do anything for us. But if there was landing gear, for instance, the retracts would come up.
And it spells that out in the manual.
In full English sentences. Run cut. The only thing I don't like about this radio system is that they start with cut down. They really should have worked out cut up and then had it so that you had to pull down run. But they had their reasons. I'm sure they did. It doesn't really matter. The point is this. It's clearly marked. You know what's going on. Just like that arm thing that was clearly printed from the factory, and obviously the LED mode that was clearly factory printed.
Right. That's why our kid couldn't read it.
At least he didn't tell me the wrong angle. That's all right. You guys won't see that, but that's okay. She told me the wrong side.
No, you wrote it wrong.
I wrote it correctly based on what she told me. I took alcohol and cleaned it. So at the end of the day, it's good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a relief. Yeah. So if you want this thing, check out the links in the video description below. Camera crew, very carefully, please. Yes. It's a heli. This thing is absolutely to die for. Looking, it fits the part. It does all the things you want. And of course, you can shoot bad guys with it. So what's there to not love about a beautiful Cobra? Man, oh man. I'll tell you what's not to love, that tail rotor. So guys, Roban, Wolfbush, whatever your name is, Flywing, all the different brands. What's the other brands? Flish.
Those are the big
ones. Can we just all get in one meeting? Because we're all getting built in the same factory from what we can tell. Can we just come up with something that's a little better than this? I mean, this is better than what they could be, but I mean, we have a spinner adapter from a drone or a small airplane. We can do better. Also, the thickness of this boom, that motor could be sucked in there. I firmly believe it. Let's do that too. But otherwise, I mean, this thing is impeccable. By the way, you didn't notice that in flight, did you? Because it's spinning. Like it's spinning, You can't see it. Same thing with the blades. So yes, while I do want markings and interesting, flat colors, these are nothings, which is very unusual for a relatively detailed helicopter. Now you might want these to be painted. I would like to see stripes. I love stripes. Having a disc that looks like our windsock with like designs and patterns makes it a lot easier for me to see it. And when you film it and you see it, it exists. And when you film it and you don't see it, it doesn't exist. So nobody has anything to complain about how awesome it is. That was a little bit contradictory, I know. But I am gonna tell you this. These are fine blades. I have no problem with the blade itself, but I really wish we had a cool pattern. Again, on a Warbird, you're probably not gonna tend to have a lot of that, but you might have at least some markings at the end. It's really hard to actually paint those on. I've done it. It's a lot more tedious than you think. And then you have to balance the blades. It's a whole process. I don't want to do that. I just want to take it out of the very expensive box and put it together and have it be awesome right away. But for those of you that want to do your own thing, you do get a base black finish, and it is not matte. It is very shiny. Again, shiny is a little easier to get the bugs off of. And yes, you will get bugs on this if there's bugs in your environment. But boy, oh boy, the only thing this thing is missing is a canopy with a beautiful cockpit in there. And then of course, all the scratch marks from our stupid Sterling Kit label. By the way, Sterling Kit, we work with Sterling Kit. They're good to work with. Okay, check it out. Links in the video description below. Hopefully you don't have to search for parts, but they do have them. We're working with them to try to improve some things. But when you follow the links from Brian Phillips RC, you're supporting us financially, and you're supporting partners that support people that tell the truth. That's a good thing, okay? Truth is important, especially as we're buying expensive models. This thing is awesome. I can't wait for you guys to have one in your own hands. And by the way, my complaints, just take them in consideration of all the good. But yeah, that is still, I mean, same thing with Flywing. Come on, guys, let's get a better tail rotor. But I know we've got it in us. I know we've got it in us. Let's 3D print something. Let's get something awesome. I don't care if you got to metal reinforce it and hot dip that stuff in there and put your jig together and have a beautiful scale looking tail rotor. I mean, I don't care if it costs 20 bucks to make, just do it. I want to be able to replace them and have it look like a little tail rotor, and then just have a nut and then torque the nut and then it's done. And it would be beautiful. There's no reason we can't do it. If we can do all this, we can do that. Okay. Soapbox done. Awesome helicopter otherwise. And by the way, even with that, it's not that big a deal. It's not gonna stop me from getting a helicopter because I don't wanna wait till somebody gets it perfect. Because guess what? If you're waiting for perfection, thank God my wife wasn't. It wouldn't happen. There it is. All right, guys, unbox next. Stay tuned. So much more. Oh, ways to support Brian Phillips RC. Obviously, buy these things from the links. Smash the like button before you exit the video. Click the bell for notifications when you want to subscribe. Then you'll be notified of new content that's always coming out on Brian Phillips RC. Hopefully first. Not always, but hopefully first. And then you can check for monthly support on members, Patreon if you prefer, or you can do one-time donations through Super Thanks or PayPal. Appreciate all of the different support you guys give us. The biggest, of course, is watching, smashing the like button, share the stuff with your buddies, get people into the hobby. Look at this thing, guys. Even if you don't know how to fly, you can literally take this out. No nothing. Take off, let it sit there, push it around your yard a couple of times and land it. There are some laws and things. Might be illegal, but that's okay. Just at the end of the day, if you're flying a FRIA or you put a remote ID in here, just learn about the rules, do it. It's not that big a deal. This thing is awesome. You want one, get it. Check it out. Unbox next. YouTube, Brian Phillips. We're gonna open this package right here. I know what it is this time, maybe, kinda, but not really, because we never really know what's in there until we open it. But I'm super excited for this one. Guys, welcome to Brian Phillips RC. We unbox them, we build them. You've probably already seen this thing fly by now, but that rules out plungers.
Oh.
Leaf blowers. So, on Brian Phillips RC, we don't leave you high and dry. We tell you the full truth, nothing but the truth. So help us God, and we try to get you in the air, out of the chair, okay? So we're gonna do that this time again, and manufactured by Roban. That's interesting. And new. Kind of hard to open this, sorry.
Is that a padded envelope there right in front of you?
Just hold on. Yes, it is a padded envelope, but it's just used for packaging.
Okay.
They must have run short on this, but this is kind of piecemealed to help protect the outside. Oh, Sterling Kit. Do you guys want to see what it is? Check this out. It's a 470 sized Cobra. Amazing. That's right. You saw it first here on Brian Phillips RC or somebody else. But it says premium 470 size AH-1W model RC helicopter, which is manufactured by Roban. But this is actually supposed to be a Wolfbush, whatever that means.
Yeah, whatever that means.
AKA, we don't care. Nope. All I know is when I think of Wolfbush,
I don't think you can say that.
I can't say that on our YouTube channel. But I'm gonna cut these stupid corner guards off. I can tell you this, the last helicopter we got was an early release, and it was crushed because our delivery agent had stepped on it in their truck.
Somewhere.
Or somebody had. And that was very frustrating because you could tell it was squished. And there are some nasty squishes on this.
Yeah.
So whoever is handling these packages, please stop damaging them, because these corner guards, just full disclosure, Sterling kit, it doesn't do anything. You need to cover the edges. They make edge guards, and those are made of cardboard.
We get those on some brands, but not.
Yes, we do. We do. On the most expensive brands, that will sometimes happen. So this is a 470 size Cobra, okay? So I'm really excited to see this. I think we should only have to cut off these ones. So 470 size, and you're probably thinking to yourself, why is the box so huge? And we're thinking the same thing to ourselves. This should be a ready to fly. And just to give you an idea, down there, you can see that's a 420 size and then a 450 size. So 470 size, I mean, it's a little bit smaller than a 500 millimeter, which would be like our Flish offerings over here. Mm-hmm. But the truth is, we're not sure exactly how it's gonna size up.
It does say ready to fly in minutes, unless you're Brian Phillips RC. No assembly required.
Listen, they didn't say it wasn't 497 minutes.
In minutes, so anywhere between 2 and 1,000.
So yeah, so it's totally true. Okay. Totally true. Okay, so we're gonna see how this goes. After sales service reminder card. Looks like they stuffed that in there after they pack it, which is totally fine. I really don't care. We want to demonstrate this as a very fair representation as you might see as a customer. Okay, so we have right here. We have what looks a lot, this is getting into other brands now, looks a lot like other brands. And you can see here, we've got the Sterling kit labels. Okay, so we've got what we're used to. Run cut, accuracy 0.123. That's weird. GPS angle manual. I wonder what manual means. And then off and then ready to hover. I don't know.
Return to home.
Return home. Yeah, thank you. I don't know why I couldn't figure that out. So this one is what we've used. We've seen this before. So these are fine. We don't have any problems. We've learned kind of how to play with them. Well, I do like the blade set. That's nice. So we have this size. I like this size because it's the same size that we have on some of our blade helis.
Oh.
Yeah, it looks a lot like some of those. And I like the shape. Looks pretty basic. You don't see anything on there for carbon fiber or anything, but they are very light. So no problem so far. Now keep in mind, this particular brand offering is supposed to be a little bit more economical than some of the more expensive 500 sizes, which stands to reason smaller. But we're gonna find out, oh, it looks good. Looks really good. Oh yeah, that looks really good, okay? See the packaging?
Yes.
Ready to fly in minutes, and they weren't kidding.
Except there's no decal.
I'm a little nervous. I'm just being careful as I pull it out.
Okay.
Because there are things, oh yes, it looks so good. Oh man, they put the stupid stickers on our windows. By the way, we tell them, don't put stickers on our windows because we are going to take the time to remove them. Yours shouldn't come with those, I hope. If they do, that is ridiculous. This is a scale aircraft and it is beautiful. And we're all about branding things on Brian Phillips RC, but not on a scale aircraft. Sorry. That is a beautiful looking aircraft. Ooh, look, I hope these are real lights.
I believe they are.
Looks like some damage. No, just stuff on it.
Okay.
Okay. So the body is cut really nicely. I'm just looking at the way that the skids are attached. Gosh, it is super similar to other helis we have. Look at the way the tail rotor is cut. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's got a flat blade, blunt tip. Looks pretty basic. It's also screwed on with a regular prop adapter. We do have an inlet up here too, I'm seeing. So it's gonna give you some ventilation through there, and I can't really do much more. There is true ventilation through the sides too. Okay, so a couple things. Let's look inside, see what we got. I sort of broke my own rule by starting with that. Don't understand this at all. Okay, so here's the marine stickers. So that's pretty sweet.
Minutes.
And here is a manual that says Roban 470.
Okay.
And then we've got the Fly Sky transmitter. It comes with some double-sided tape here, it looks like. So we'll see how that goes. Now, also included in this package are the necessary necessities, okay? So we've got right here, missiles. So obviously missiles are a necessity.
For sure.
On a Cobra. Let's see if they say like US Air Force.
Yeah.
Instead of Marines.
Coast Guard.
Coast Guard. There you go. So we're gonna rip this open and see if they match. Because I think those are Marine stickers.
Yes.
Okay, so these are missiles and they look just fine. They look fine. They look nice. Look like they'll be easy to install. Okay. I bet they'll have to be either screwed in or glued in. Oh, there's more ordnance. Look, they have different rocket pods.
Cool.
Sweet. And then there's, whoa.
More things.
There's more things. I don't know what those are for. Oh, they must go up on the top or something. But I'm not actually sure where they go. We'll find out. Okay. And then look, we have a fin set. Oh yes, look at that.
Blade cutters and stuff. Cool.
Yes. Yep, we've got line cutters. That is really good because the line cutters really help to sell the look of a helicopter. I've added them to a few helicopters that didn't have them. Namely, the Bell 412. Is that a 412? Yes. And then the Bell 206.
206.
Now, let's look at the battery. This is a Roban pack, lithium polymer pack, 4,800 milliamp hours, 4S. Looks like a 30C pack, nothing special to write home about, but we'll see if it actually works well. It's got a nice clear heat shrink around it, which is nice. That should keep it in good shape. And then these stupid protectors. I'm gonna show you what you can do with these protectors. What you'll wanna do, if you're anything like me, is you're just gonna take that off and throw it away because you don't need it. It's just extra weight and they always get in the way. And I've never really found them to be a big issue, but if you have trouble with small plugs, you can use it, okay? Charger. It's a very basic charger. Roban, 2 through 4S LiPo. 2-cell, 3-cell, and 4-cell all equipped on there. Just a balanced charger. You know, whatever. It is what it is. I'm not gonna say it's some big thing because, to be honest with you, it's pretty lame for an expensive helicopter. And then they have a DC adapter, AC to DC adapter. This puts out, looks like 12 volts at 2 amps. And it does have a little light on it. Okay. So that should be good. And then there's also, this is one good thing, guys. They come with a DC alligator clip style, so you could charge it off of another battery, or you could charge it off of your vehicle battery. And then it does come with a USB-A to USB micro. And then that, oh, somebody asked me this question. Can I take the spring doohickey out? Yes, you can. And yes, you can if you want to, but you can also replace it with this thing right here. It's a piece of metal that goes in and it applies pressure, so it got detent, like that, okay? So USB micro, is that a micro? USB,
it is.
Yeah, not C, then USB A. So it comes with that, and then it's got a bind plug in there with one of those like release pins on it. So we're gonna get charging on the battery right now before we start cleaning up. We might take a minute and pack things back into packaging. It's spring in Central Iowa, USA. And what that means for us is that filming is a privilege, especially aircraft, okay? So we're doing our best to tap, oh, so it's a blue light, okay? Looks pretty simple. We're gonna plug this thing in. Comes up with a light, stand here please. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my XPC battery checker. We'll get the XPC battery checker 2, and we'll plug this in and see what we got for voltage before we start. Okay, so you can see it comes at about 3.8 volts. And I kind of yanked out, sorry, not a tight fit, okay? So then what we'll do is, in order to charge this, we're just gonna plug this in. It is sort of easier to use when you've got these cables, but it's got a nice long lead on it for the balance lead, okay? So then it says battery 2, battery 3, and then it'll say battery 4, then it'll show you total, okay? So pretty basic stuff. So it's a lot like what you would see from your run-of-the-mill, you know, like this happens to be a Predator offering from FMS, but you can, they're a dime a dozen. You get them from 100 different brands. They got a little push button with an adapter. This will show you the total, then cell 1, cell 2, cell 3, cell 4, in this case, all the way 2 through 8 cells, as well as 1S if it's got enough charge to power it up. That's why we like so much the XBC, because we've got these smart leads all the way down to the IC2, IC3, and IC5. But as you can see, this has an XT60. So if you're wanting to use your smart charger or smart checker and you don't have an adapter like this, this is one we've gotten in a few different battery packs. I like to score the edges with a knife so it makes it easy. And then you can watch the nominal voltage on the smart checker if you want to, which is kind of cool. Doesn't have to be that way, guys. If you're into this echelon of helicopter, my guess is you probably already have better chargers, but it is nice that you can get it out of the box. So if you don't, and you're just used to flying smaller or more ready to fly options in the helicopter arena, this might give you exactly what you need. Okay, so remember, here on Brian Phillips RC, our objective is to get you up to speed as fast as possible, get you out of the chair and into the air in a way that's gonna bring you success, okay? Because what's the point in taking off, crashing, and ruining a potential helicopter enthusiast or a potential airplane enthusiast? There isn't. And that's why we're so careful about our recommendations for helicopters, airplanes, quads, VTOLs, and leaf blowers, mostly the latter, okay? So at the end of the day, all we have to do to assemble this helicopter is we have to charge the battery, and then we have to put on the Ordnance if you want to put the Ordnance on. And then of course we have to put the blades on, okay? So a couple things to keep in mind with these GPS heli drones. I call them GPS heli drones, that's what they are. But that's a unique name that we came up with. And it just basically means that they'll fly themselves if you want them to be in the right mode, okay? So we're gonna learn together on how this works. There must be a release somewhere on here. I don't know if this comes out first and then it just pops up. It is kind of tail heavy right now without the blades on. It'll be better, okay? So that's a pretty good fit. This fitment's nice. Got that tip that goes through, and they've got a nice thick base on there that's glued in. Feel like the glass, yeah, they put these stupid branding labels on here. We just waste our time taking that off. That is so irritating. We work with partners that make deals with us that work out. And one of the deals that we made with Sterling Kit is we don't want this stuff on there. So we'll have links in the video description below if you want to support us. It still does help us. Now look down here. See this? Mm-hmm. See that thing spin? That is a servo. Oh. Holy cow. So that thing moves. Oh, that's so cool. I wonder if that's what this is.
Oh.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out. I'm a little bit concerned we're going to waste a channel on that, but we'll find out. So this is the Roban X2. Turn on the light, please, because I can't see. There we go. So it says battery. This says USB. So there's a USB port. There's power, GPS, and UART1. So then somewhere on here, there must be a receiver. Obviously, there's a receiver going from one of these things, but I don't know which one it is. I'm guessing it's probably that one there because you can see the antenna coming up. And hon, I need to be able to get my head in here. You're blocking my access. So on the side there, there it is. You see? Point your finger in there, please. Oh, right there.
Yep, right there.
That's the receiver, guys. And okay, so then there's also an ESC in there. It all looks really well built. My only issue is I don't know how you would get it out if you need to work on it. Looks like there's 2 screws, one screw here and one screw there. And then I bet you the whole assembly comes out, but I do not see access to, there's one more screw hole back here that's drilled. And I bet there's another screw maybe here or that's for one of the peripheries. Ooh, we have a light potentially down here and above here. That might be really good if that's the case. Thick bulkheads. Looks like it's probably some sort of a composite. Yeah, it's like a plywood with a buildup on the outside. And there is definitely a servo that's mounted to this gun. So this thing's gonna move. I don't think this one up here moves. It just moves when you physically move it. So we'll see how that looks. And then the blades. Like I said, I don't mind a plain blade for a military, a warbird, but this is pretty plain. So that's surprising. It is a light blade too, which is nice. But let's see how big it is compared to the 360, the Eclipse. Trade spots, please. Thank you. This blade set is almost, yeah, okay, so that's about right. I think that's a 420 blade set. That's 470. That must be closer to a 450. But yeah, 470 is a pretty good size class. And remember, one of the reasons why it's always kind of hard to tell how big a helicopter is because this varies and the blades don't. These are all like standard blade sets. Okay, but let's compare this blade to the bigger Flish quick. Before we get everything together, you can see this larger Cobra down here. It is a lot bigger, guys. Look at that. You see the difference? I added that reflective on the end in case you guys were wondering. So in terms of body size, this thing is probably half the size. I also noticed that the landing gear are tall on this, okay? So we'll have to see how it feels and looks in the air because of course the Cobra has a very distinct look. And if you're anything like me, you have a very, very distinct expectation for looks, okay? Helicopters, airplanes, alike. Okay, so we're gonna take a second, we'll get things unpacked and clean up and we'll be right back. All right, so after many, many minutes of scratching, I have now scratched glass because of a stupid label. Okay, so Sterling kit, we've said it before, we'll say it again. Don't put stickers on our scale aircraft. Okay, but I will say, this thing has one of the best manuals we've seen in a long time for a helicopter.
Yes.
The decals do not have the pink. The manual says they have pink, there's no pink. It's just clear, which is nice. I believe it is still a film protective. So when you're done putting this on, you're gonna have to then wait for it to dry. Now, we've been going through this 20-minute build for here about an hour, and largely because of the Sterling kit stickers on our canopy. But beyond that, we were reading through the steps. They're wanting you to use 15-minute epoxy, and there's just a bunch of steps that are gonna take. I think the average Joe is probably gonna spend about an hour and a half on this model, putting it together. It's not a big deal, but we just hate it when China says minutes.
Yeah.
It's just insults our intelligence, and it's really frustrating for us because, you know, every once in a while it'd be kind of cool if it was actually a minutes build. That being said, this is a really nice helicopter. It is going together. So far, it's been, I mean, everything looks really nice. So I'm super excited. I'm excited to see it work well. I want to see it work well. Where did the Ordnance go?
There are pictures in here.
So the missiles are going to go on the wingtips, guys. And the way I know that is because there's sockets that go over what's on the wings, okay? So these will slide together in this manner. I do really wish, and this is true for Flish, this is true for Flywing and all the other competitive brands that are out there. I don't want to have to glue this crap on because if I get to a point where I want a clean look, I want to be able to do that. Oh, we also wrote arm. It's down and to the inside on the left or the throttle or the collective stick. There's a whole procedure. We'll go through it all in the flight, but then back here, this button is set for LED mode. Now, the good thing is, because I normally have kind of a panic recovery button back here that I will program in, we may change that. Also, our accessory switch doesn't do anything on this because we don't have gear. This is tied to the ailerons or it'd be the right, left on the cyclic, okay? So the cyclic compared to the collective, or the collective compared to, it's usually over here. So this would be the collective, which would change all the pitch blades up. And then the throttle, of course, would be on there. And then the stick, this is the cyclic. So it would lean you left, lean you right, lean you forward, lean you back. That is represented in mode 2 right here. So this is the cyclic. So when you do this, it'll move that gun, hypothetically. This is going to yaw the aircraft. This is going to bring you up. This is going to bring you down in GPS mode. GPS mode has to be locked before you take off so that you can use the return to home feature. If it starts to return to home, you can cancel out of it by going to off, but it's going to return back to GPS unless you happen to be in another mode. And then if you return back, it's going to go to the mode you're in. That might drop you. You need to be aware of it, okay? Because this is kind of like ATT. You're allowed to go up and down at will, and you're not held spatially. So this is spatially to me. You're not barometrically tied or optical flow sensor tied or anything. You're allowed to go up and down. You're allowed to go left and right. You're allowed to go forward and backward. And the only thing that's going to add in this middle mode is the auto leveling when you let go of the cyclic. It's going to level the disc. It's called disc leveling, okay? Not so much auto leveling like SAFE, sensor assisted flight envelope on Horizon products, okay? Which is what we do a lot of here on this channel, okay? But then in manual mode, I believe it's still stabilized, but it's going to fly like a normal helicopter. They say it's not stabilized, but it's still going to have a stabilizer because there's still a flight controller involved. It's not going to auto level. It's not going to hold you barometrically, and it's not going to hold you spatially. But you can always flip up here for a panic mode. Problem is, I can't get to that switch in time because I don't hold my sticks like this. I hold them like this. I'm a thumb flyer. So it's really slow for me to get up to this. It's clunky and dangerous. The only good thing about it is up all the way. So if I'm holding this, I can throw the switch all the way up. Well, I will have crashed by then just getting to it. I promise. And that's with quite a lot of practice and getting a lot better at flying helicopters. Now, I will admittedly say this. I don't care about the mode of the stupid LEDs. Not enough to give up the switch. So at some point, I'm probably going to have to reprogram the switches so that I can change the way that this works. So I can have an automatic kick down or kick up in this case, so it can go to GPS. So if I'm in this mode, I'm going to have it kick all the way up now. 2 modes up. So that is a little bit of a deviation from the Flywing setups and the Flish setups that we have done in the past. Still haven't set up the Blackhawk to do that. The big Blackhawk from Flish.
Right.
So not sure how that's going to unfold, but at the end of the day, they're saying to use epoxy to mount these. We are going to be firmly not doing that. We're going to use CA because this is not a very big helicopter. I'm not worried at all about this stuff holding on ordnance-wise. Once it's built, we'll put on stickers. Just so you guys know, these are wet decals. They should go pretty smooth. We'll probably demonstrate 2 or 3 of them, or maybe 1 or 2, and then we'll show you what it looks like when it's done. But that being said, following along, putting on decals is not really necessary. And the truth is, this is a really good manual.
It is.
It's almost like I wrote it myself, and it's in English, not Chinese.
No.
It's English.
Yes.
So really good in that way. Really excited. Now, we're not going to need this yet. You should need to change the programming, so I'll just put that over there for now. But if you need to change your programming, you should be able to actually do that. I don't know what type of apparatus you need on the computer to do that, but I'm sure Roban has a solution for that. Now, the other thing too is I do not know what these things are. I think they are shaft and flare launchers, and I think they go back here.
They go...
Oh, yes. They go here, don't they?
They do. And it specifically says that there is a hole for each thing that you're adding. So
right here?
Yes.
It doesn't fit in the hole. Yeah, but it doesn't fit in the hole.
Well. So
it's too big. So I don't know. We'll have to spend a little bit of time to make this. Can you move that back, please? Just, you need a 2.5 millimeter drive, but they do give you an Allen key for the blades. So just in synopsis of what the manual says, it's probably worth just perusing it. I don't ever say that because normally I would say it's a giant waste of time.
Right.
Because frankly, most of the Chinese manuals, and I'm talking about on the multi-$1,000 helicopters, are pretty much garbage. There are a few that have been okay, I'm gonna need side cutters to cut these apart, by the way. The scissors are not quite sharp enough. I don't know what this is doing. We're gonna have to use side cutters to cut these apart. And I had some guy sent us these Knipex side cutters. So if you know who you are, thank you. These are super nice. They're really, really nice, actually. So nice, I would never buy them myself. But a lot of the maintenance guys I work with in my day job love the Knipex. They have like a channel lock that they use instead of a crescent wrench. I carry around a crescent wrench, just off-brand crescent wrench all the time. That's what I like to use for my everyday carry around in your pocket tool. So I don't know if you need this whole chunk or if you want to cut down to there, but this needs to get mounted and it's going to go. You do have to have this helicopter upside down. So I wonder if a plane stand will work for it. Sometimes plane stands work okay for heli. Sometimes they don't. This is probably a little bit too big, but I'm going to see if I can adjust it. Maybe it'll hold the fuse, maybe it won't. I kind of am reluctant to put a lot of weight on the canopy. It's just not a good idea because they are held on nicely, but I don't trust that they're not going to get damaged when we put the weight of the helicopter on the canopy. So I'm going to try to do it this way. The body feels strong and sturdy. In fact, I need to open it up just a little bit further so that we can get this done. This is a Roban plane stand, not to be confused with the brand of this helicopter. It is a different name. Roban versus Roban, right? Mm-hmm. So if you guys ever need supplies like that or the CAs that we use or the China glue or anything like that you see us use on a routine basis here on Brian Phillips RC, you can check out the links in the video description below to brianphillipsrc.com or you can head over to bprc.me. That's our website and domain. You can also sort by type so you can find the exact aircraft you're trying to find. Where do these go?
Those go inboard on
Yeah,
the
but I need
wing.
a picture because there's a left and a right, guys. See this? I think this is the front because it shows like the missiles. And then this is the back because it would be the exhaust port, I think.
Okay.
But honestly, that picture doesn't do any good.
That picture does not help.
Doesn't do any good at all. So I'm assuming that this needs to go probably like this. But I mean, it is just honestly an educated guess. Seems to be a pretty good fitment in the holes though, which is nice. So I'm gonna use these Knipex cutters and I think I'm gonna take off just a little bit more. I think I can go down to there. Very brittle, so be careful. You don't wanna lose that key because that's gonna help you get it lined up. But I will say this, boy, there's just always, if you guys ever, I work for a living, and if you've ever hurt your back, you understand with aircraft, I don't know what it is, but you're always reaching for something. So what I like to do is I like to try to get these as close as possible, but then, oh, you see what's just going on? It's trying to break that. Ooh. So what we're gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to go in here and shave a little bit, and I don't know if I can I don't think I'm gonna be able to do a sideways cut, but you see what I'm doing? I'm just taking off the edge because these things are so sharp. I'm gonna see if I can get enough of it off. I think it might just be the thickness of the paint. But I don't know if you guys could hear that, but it like cracked somewhere, the fiberglass. See, and this is the sort of thing that you're never gonna see with the other guys on YouTube. They're never gonna show you this. Well, there's a few guys that would, but the vast majority of people are just gonna be hype men. They're just gonna show you, oh, look how perfect this is and it's without any faults. No, we're gonna show you the faults. But we're gonna help you to understand that even with the faults, it's still probably a pretty awesome helicopter. There are times when we get into these projects, I've got my X-Acto knife here. I'm just gonna see if I can open up the hole a little bit. Just spinning it. I'm not gonna go like too crazy, but let's see if that gets us enough. Because they call these things a 5-minute build, and as you can see, we're clearly like an hour into this or more. And it's not really a big deal. I think the average Joe's gonna kind of enjoy the build. But for us, of course, we're always up against these ludicrous deadlines and weather and everything. Hun, are you gonna change your angle so they can see what's going on? See how it's not seated? It's not all the way down, and I don't think that's good enough. So I'm gonna go in here and just open this up a little bit more. I gotta admit, it's kind of hard to get in here. There's a lot of stuff in the way. And so I'm not sure if I'm gonna kick myself for having done this first, but there's also a hole here and a hole here, and there's quite a bit of holes that are gonna get plugged with different things. And normally that'd be a good thing. I would be very, very happy about that, plugging holes and the sort. Yeah, it's still not, the front's not good enough. So as you can see, just the X-Acto knife is opening up the fiberglass. Really nice, and make no mistake, this is like a model grade model. And oh yeah, really good now. Very good fitment. Okay, worth the extra effort. Now we're just gonna use BSI, medium CA. You can use 15-minute epoxy if you really, really wanna waste a lot of time. But I'm gonna tell you this right now, this is gonna be plenty good. It's gonna work well. I doubt you're gonna have any issues with it, because the truth is this model, we're talking about a peripheral piece of equipment here. There's gonna be a little higher vibration than we might see on some airplanes, especially foamies. So admittedly, this is not an exact representation. I'm just gonna unclog this and come right back. So we got the CA bottle unplugged, which is one of my biggest gripes with CA, is having to constantly unplug the CA spout. As you can see, I literally just unclogged it and then reclogged it. So if you guys know the tip of the day to keep your CA unclogged, leave it in the comments below. I'm sure there'll be 400 different answers, not the least of which is put it in the fridge so it lasts longer. All those good things, we've tried all those things. And I've gone through more than my fair share of CA over the years. Now, you guys know I'm largely partial to China glue. And the camera crew asked me, why are you not using China glue? And the answer is just a little kicker there. Hey, you need to keep away from that.
Yep.
The reason I'm not using China glue for this is because this is plastic on plastic, essentially. Well, it's fiberglass on plastic. In this case, I think that's a plastic part. But at the end of the day, it's just a totally different, unlike type of material. You don't want, China glue would be used for like foam to foam contact, or maybe foam to glue, or like foam to something else, but not gonna be plastic to plastic. This is hard to hard. It's gonna be a good way to use it. And gap filling for sure on stuff like this, because it is gonna be imperfect. Just plan on it and you'll be less disappointed. Okay, now missiles. I do not know. These look like they're really, really cleanly made. Oh, they are bolted together. See that?
Oh.
Why couldn't they just make a bolt go all the way through? But the problem is this is imperfect right here. I was just trying to figure out if there's a difference on the left and the right. I don't think there is. I just see like what drips of glue and stuff, or drips of paint. And I want to see if I can get these to drop on. Yeah, it's just such a terrible fitment. So I'm gonna have to go in here. This is plastic, you can tell, because as that stuff comes off on my finger, you can see it's not fiberglass, okay? So I'm just gonna turn this like that. And I'm just gonna see if I can get it to line up. Yeah, that was actually not a bad fitment right there. Now that's pretty good and easy. That is on the outside, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So on this one, all I need to do now is the same exact process that we did for the last one. I'm gonna just put a little bit of glue here after I get my tip cleaned. Okay, so oh my goodness. Okay, glue, glue, glue. Okay, so now that I've got glue set down there, I'll put a little bit of kicker on this shelf, and it should be pretty quick and easy, but it's gonna have to be in one fell swoop, and it's going to be. And we'll just hold it for a moment. That's why we use kicker, because then it's done, okay? Now, you could also use a 15-minute epoxy if you want to have the thickness of the epoxy for the gap filling characteristics, but I think it's a complete waste of your time. This is gonna work fine, it's gonna work well. And I know from experience, I've done a lot of building like this over the years. There are people that have used epoxy successfully as well. I just think it's largely more expensive product. It's unnecessary on this. Now, for those of you that disagree, leave it in the comments so that we can all have a discussion about it. I'm just gonna cut those tips off. They don't have to be cut all the way off, but you may not have enough clearance to actually put that all the way in there, so just be aware. I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna open this up, knock down at least the paint, and just nails on the chalkboard sort of thing there. Okay. We're gonna just dry fit this, of course, with the tips going forward. Okay. Yeah, not there, not enough. Really close, but not enough. And my X-Acto knife has loosened. So guys, if you're brand new to Brian Phillips RC, we leave no stone unturned on these builds. And that's because a lot of people just need some help. If you're still watching, thanks for being part of Brian Phillips RC. The ecosystem of RC that we operate here is very heartfelt and genuine. And that is part of the reason why you may occasionally see I get a little bit frustrated with these model companies over certain decisions. I will tell you this right now, this is a nice helicopter. So any of my frustration is basically a schedule related issue, okay? Very nice helicopter. I am super impressed with the way it's going together. It's just, you know, we're very wishful thinking type of people. We expect things to go together in a few minutes if that's what they say. And so we're always let down every time.
Yes.
That all being said, if you're into building and you like model building, which is funny because I think a lot of people assume that if you like radio controlled stuff, you have to want to build models. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, there was a time in my life when I was less busy. You know, we have 4 kids. I run a 60 to 70 hour a week kind of job. And then we run the YouTube channel. So we're busy people and we're building an aerodrome. And so on top of that, all the financing and dealing with banks and all the different contractors, and there's a lot of them right now. It's just a lot to keep up with. And that doesn't take away from the fact that I love this hobby and I love what we get to do on this channel. But I will tell you this, we are in a bit of a unique circumstance right now with the plethora of different duties on our plate. So it may show through occasionally. Our apologies if you see that. We're here to help encourage you in your own process of working through the ranks of the hobby. Okay, so we have the list of everything on the wrong side of the counter. So we're gonna look through this now and see if we can find what the next move is. There's a bunch of holes down here. I need to figure out what to stick in what hole. Camera crew, 1, 2 holes. I wanna stick those in next. Okay, so they say to cut them apart. This is gonna be one of the blade cutters. I do think it's unique that this blade cutter is down here and you're supposed to cut them apart, but you're supposed to keep this straight chunk, okay? So I'm gonna cut this with the Knipex cutters. And you can see right here, I'll put my hand up there. I've got a little bit of tape stuck to me, sorry. So that you can see this for size reference. This is a beautiful blade cutter. And that does fit, nice. So I am gonna apply the glue to this instead of the glue to the body. So on either side flanking it, and I'm gonna go ahead and just do 1 drip. You guys notice I do this. I don't spray with my kicker because it's really hard to control it. And I will tell you this, if you use a 15-minute epoxy, you will have an easier time making alignment. So you pretty much gotta get it right if you're gonna do CA like I am, and you wanna get it square and true and plumb. I need to know what the next one is, please. So those go on the top. Okay, so guys, you see this? Looks like a little airplane in and of itself, which is kind of cool. So it looks like these 2 are going on top. This one's going on the bottom. Where's the other one go?
One up here.
Hold on, there's one up here. There's a little blade cutter up here. See?
Yeah.
There's a little blade cutter. Let's get the little blade cutter right there.
Okay.
I was gonna say, how do they protect this turret? Because you could catch a wire on that too. So you guys see what I'm doing here? You just set that in there and you just cut it. You don't actually need the tab on this one because there's no hole pre-drilled.
Right.
You see what's going on there? So you do have to cut this flush. And if you cut it flush and you have your wife in the room, just be like, hey, look over on the other side of the room while you sand that on your countertop.
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm gonna take this, I'm just gonna very carefully run that out of the way. We're gonna go right there with a little bit of kicker. And then we're gonna take this blade cutter. This is gonna point with the mouth open forward. Just a little bit of CA. For good measure, we'll just set it down into the kicker. Just let it rest, hold it until it's set, and it's set. Okay, it looks pretty sweet. I like the color. I'm a little concerned I don't have that quite square. I might break that free if it'll go, and it did, okay? I'm gonna pull that back out, and I'm just gonna retry this, okay? Guys, that worked pretty easy. If you use 15-minute epoxy, yeah, right, you'd never get that thing out. You'd break it off is what you'd do. Okay. So I got that a little bit square. I'm happier with the angle. Okay, good. So now this one needs to be...
Which one is that? That one?
Hold on. One is on the bottom and one is on the top.
Yep.
And this is the other one. Okay, so you guys see this? These two are on the top, forward facing. I don't know where the antenna goes. Oh, it goes here, doesn't it? Look. That goes up.
Oh, yeah.
That's weird. Okay, so that one I got to do while I'm upside down. So, look, the antenna looking one. We're going to take and cut this one with the snippers. And then we're going to stick this right here. That is bizarre. Like that. Like that. Okay? So, first things first, a little bit of glue. We're going to do this backward. Tiny bit of glue, tiny bit of glue. By the way, if you guys hadn't connected the dots that if you were to do this with epoxy, you better be prepared for a pretty intense project, okay? Because that is gonna be a lot of effort to mix all those little tiny bits of epoxy. And I don't really understand why you would ever need to have the holding strength, but I guess we'll find out if all my crap comes off.
Well, and then it's not going to dry immediately, so you're going to have to tape it or hold it or something.
Oh, yeah, they suggested that you tape it. And I'm like, yeah, that would be fine. But like, how are you going to tape that little tiny thing? Right. I mean, I suppose you could. And the truth is, at the end of the day, you know, if you're a total novice into modeling, this might not be your cup of tea. It might be a little bit too advanced, but you don't have to mount any of these things. The cool thing about this helicopter is with GPS, you can pretty much fly it and have zero skills to fly helicopters. However, if you have zero skills to fly helicopters, you're a lot more likely to run into your own face.
Yeah.
And you only get one of those. I'm serious. These things are big and they will hurt you. This is not a toy. And if you buy this for your rich children, okay, just remember your rich children might lose their face. So be careful. Because remember, it is a real spinning object. It will scare you the first time. If you've never seen a helicopter this size, I guarantee you'll be scared when you see it the first time. Unless you're just completely reckless, which you might be, okay? But my experience is when you get into this size class, you know, I'm getting more and more used to it, but this is still gonna be pretty scary when it first spools up. Look how small that, did they find the world's largest hands?
Yes.
That is not the same size, is it?
I don't know.
Okay, so this one goes forward, right?
No, pointed to the
rear?
back, right? I mean, that's what that looks like.
Yeah, I agree with you, Cam Crew. So that goes backward like this. Okay, so I need to open that hole a little bit more. So guys, here on Brian Phillips RC, we want to bring real value to real enthusiasts. You are moving the manual with your elbow. And so if you are a real enthusiast and you want to help support us, one of the things you can do is smash the like button right now. Obviously, we do these long form videos and we're trying to help people that need help, okay? So if you're one of the people that get a little bit of help from watching, whether it be, you know, one of the most important setup things you've ever learned, or you're just like, hey, you know, I wanted to figure out what direction that antenna mounted, and I wanted to see the general condition of the helicopter when it came out of the box. Or you name it, whatever value we're able to bring, leave it in the comments. Let us know what we're doing right and let us know what you'd like to see us improve on. Obviously, you can be super mean about it if you want, but we'll just ignore it. Or give you some snooty remark back. Probably the camera crew doing that. By the way, look at this. You are not gonna put that back in the plane stand if your goal is you have to reposition it if you did it the way I did. But at the end of the day, we really do want to bring you the right value because everybody is at a different spot in this hobby, okay? So if there's something that you want to see, let us know. We'll try. Doesn't mean we can always do everything that everybody needs, but we try. I'm gonna try to put this down and not break the blade cutter. You know what? I don't think I can. I think I'm just gonna have to sit.
Oh, okay.
On this. Yeah, because I can't get the angle.
Yeah.
I don't want to damage it, and so I'm gonna sit, guys. I don't like to sit when we're filming because I feel like kind of like it's lazy. So, all right, so we've got this hole to fill and those two holes. I already know which one's which. And then I also know, oh, is this on the front of the canopy? Grab the canopy, hon. Or wait, where's the picture of it? This vertical facing one? Where does it go? On the
yeah, right here in front of the little air inlet.
Okay, can I have the canopy? Thank you. Okay, so in front of the air inlet, there we go. There's another hole? Oh, yeah, this goes and that goes. Okay, great. So this makes sense. So guys, here on Brian Phillips RC, if you see us waffle, it's because this is just the real experience. And if you don't like waffling, there are many more refined videos out there on YouTube. But what you're gonna find about the people on YouTube is that all of us are working an angle. My angle, and I'm very honest with people about what we do, is I want you to buy these products from the links in the video description below because I want you to get this helicopter and enjoy it with me. I don't want you to live vicariously through Brian Phillips RC. I want you to enjoy the hobby in real time and space on your own, but I want you to come back and learn how to do more effective, a little quicker, a little bit less pain, a little bit less struggling with your radio system setup, things like that, that we can bring real value to you. But that's what we try to do. We specialize in giving people a step-by-step documentary style, what do we call this? What am I trying to say? Demonstrative. We're trying to demonstrate. See that? That is not gonna sit.
No, it's not.
Okay. So when it comes to the demonstrative part of things, we can show you when you'll run into stupid problems like this, where it doesn't quite sit down. So I don't know, do I wanna mill that? No, I'm probably just gonna glue it anyway. And so on this one, I'm gonna go ahead and put glue right here and right here. And I'm gonna get a nice healthy drip on this side so that it goes a little bit deeper. That's gonna help make up for the indisparity of thickness. And I've just put a little bit of kicker there. If you guys don't know what kicker is, it's basically a CA accelerant, and it's going to make this stuff set up really fast, okay? So just hold it in place and it's done, it's set. But you see how there's a gap there now. So what I'm gonna do is, now that we've got that small gap, I'm gonna go right here and I'm gonna drip and try to get it to fall down right in there, boom. Just like that, boom. And then that kicker is gonna set the CA in a puddle, and it's gonna take about 2 or 3 seconds total because it's already just residue on the fiberglass painted surface, okay? So that's pretty good. That went pretty smooth. Okay, so we can get that out of the way. And one of the things too that you'll learn when you watch our videos is that we will, well, what the heck is going on here? Did I pick the wrong hole? No, that's this thing. That's this thing, guys.
Oh,
this radar array thingy, omnidirectional, that's gonna block our view of the light. Ooh. I don't know if I'm like so sure that that's a good idea, but we're gonna find out. Well, anyway, my whole point is, if you're here, I was saying we were working an angle. I was working an angle because obviously these companies want us to help sell their products. Well, joke's on them, because what we're trying to do is tell you guys the full truth, nothing but the truth, so help us God. And they just think we're gonna sit here and lie about how amazing everything is no matter what. Well, the truth is, if it's amazing, we're happy. If it's terrible, we're disappointed. And we're gonna tell you exactly how disappointed we are. Because even when we've got a partner that we really wanna help out, small companies, mom, pop shop sort of things. Okay, so this one here, we're done with this. This is just garbage. You could use that for like a gun or something like that. I'm gonna just throw it away. Even when it goes really poorly, it breaks our heart because we want these things to all be good. I mean, we love this stuff, or at least I do. My camera crew is my wife of many years. We're old now. We used to not be old. You know, it's unbelievable. But back when we weren't old, do you remember what that was like?
No.
I don't either. Not to mention we have 4 kids. That'll make you old in and of itself. Does that go forward like that? I think it does.
That looks correct.
Okay, so I'm gonna go this way. I'll show you what it looks like when you don't use kicker. Just on one of these 2. Okay, so get those drips on there. And then if you don't use kicker, this is what you'll find. You can get that CA down, and then you've got a little bit more time to work. But if you're anything like me, what's gonna happen is you'll bump this like 30 seconds after you put it down, and it won't quite be set up, okay? So if you get to starting this, you realize, oh crap, I forgot the kicker, then all you have to do is just come over here and just run that right in the seam, and it will set in just mere seconds. See, it's set. Now you don't have to worry about bumping it. But what I prefer to do is just touch the hole and let that stuff work. And then you can come in here and give it a kiss of CA. Do you understand why I was like, off camera, we were discussing this. I was like, why would you use epoxy for this? This is such a non-issue.
Right.
Like none of these things are especially big or difficult. I mean, like honestly, I don't even think I'd use epoxy on like the big Flish ones. We did use bolts on one of them.
We did.
Because the UH-60 had huge wings. We made it so we could take our wings off.
Yeah. That was kind of a fitment thing more than...
I was nervous they weren't gonna, like we were gonna wanna take them off for another flight, which I think we did promise to do that. By the way, which way do these go? I think these go outward and we need to ream those. Can you hand me my reamer? Hey guys, note to self, when you hand somebody a knife, that's the best way to do it.
Well, when you're...
I haven't stabbed myself for a while on this channel.
You're also filming and looking at directions at the same time.
Yeah.
I haven't stabbed you yet.
Well, I'm just saying we don't need to start now.
Oh, well.
That's all. Okay.
Make this 20-minute build better.
That just seems way too big. Is that right?
It looks like in the picture. It does look kind of big in the picture, I think.
Okay, whatever.
Like
okay, so now listen. This is going to be, you see how there's a hole on there? I'm assuming that there is a right way and a wrong way. And I honestly don't know how to distinguish.
Do they have, well, see the little dots go out. You can sort of see it here.
Yeah. Well, that's because if you're going to shoot flares or shaft or something.
You don't want to like shoot them at yourself?
Typically not. Yeah. I don't think so. I mean, I'm no expert. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue here just around that edge. And I'm going to do just a tiny bit around the front here. Okay. I need the kicker, please. Thank you. And what we're going to do is we'll just put this on that surface. And guys, you wouldn't believe how long you can use one thing of kicker. It's incredible how long that stuff will last because it doesn't dry out. Like the CA will.
And especially when you drip it, I think you use so much less than when you
it's so much less
every time.
But if you spray it, then you can get it where you need it in sometimes bad spots that you might not otherwise be able to reach. So there's definitely some advantages to doing that. I get that some people would do it. By the way, this one has holes on both sides. I think the other one was supposed to have holes, but like, I don't really care. It's fine. We're just gonna do it this way. And by the way, some of you are gonna be inclined to like get really hard on about like, hey, I need to make sure to scrape the paint off. Trust me, you don't need to worry about it. It's not gonna matter. You'll never know any better. It's not gonna matter, trust me. But if your hole isn't big enough to stick it in, like I got a little ahead of myself there, that will manifest itself as a problem. And I wanna do this kind of quick now. So camera crew, forgive me for not. I didn't dry fit that one like I should have. Sorry, folks. Okay, now that kicker, I didn't get it onto it at all. Okay. So we did okay. Okay, so if in doubt, if in doubt, don't use the kicker, just use the CA. It's gonna buy you more time. By the way, CA stands for cyanoacrylate. I always say it wrong. But it's super glue, guys, super glue. If you've never used super glue before, that's what this stuff is. I like the BSI brand. There's a bunch of other brands. We do link to other brands, right? But I like BSI. It's just always been the brand I've used since I was a kid. The purple tip is the gap filling. The blue is thin, non-foam safe. The pink is thick. And then if you go to foam safe, then you have a black, which would be equivalent to this. It's the medium. The white is thin. And I don't know that there's a super thick on that. But either way, the foam safe is low odor and it costs like 3 to 4 times as much. So when you're buying the foam safe, use it for foam safe. But I mean, we don't have a lot of models that are EPS anymore. Most of them are EPO. And by the way, I had somebody asking me the other day, like what type of material is this made out of? This is made out of fiberglass, aluminum, steel, plywood, epoxy, resin, 3D printed. This is all like a model, okay? It is absolutely gorgeous. And just the components on these helicopters are amazing. I will warn you, after you put all those antennas on and everything, it is a lot more stuff going on when you go to pick it up. So just be careful. There's also a tail protector here that you didn't have to put on, which I really appreciate, because at the end of the day, they say it's like a 5-minute setup and we give all sorts of hell for, you know, how long it takes to set it up. But the truth is, you could just not put any of the periphery equipment on and you could technically take this out on flight right away. But if you're like me, you're gonna refuse. You're gonna have just a tiny little bit of self-control and you're gonna wait until all that crap is done, because that's what you do when it's dark out and you have no other choice. So here on Brian Phillips RC, we love doing this stuff, but we love doing it for an audience that is genuinely interested in it. And if you weren't interested, you wouldn't be watching. So we appreciate you guys coming back again and again. All right, which direction? They said from the top.
Yes.
Looking down, it's gonna go what direction?
Clockwise.
Clockwise. Okay, so camera crew, I'm just gonna show people that this works.
Okay.
Okay, so that's 2.5 millimeters. There's a jam nut down, or not a jam nut so much, but a nylock that's in there, trapped underneath. Now that we've proven that that works, I'm gonna grab this, which is a 2.5 millimeter drive. It's gonna make it a lot easier. There's some of the manufacturers are sending their helicopters with these screwdrivers. I must say that is kind of nice. But like after you get the first or second one, you've got just recurring sets of the same tool, which sort of turns into a fiasco if you ask me. So clockwise?
Yes.
So this is gonna go here. Oh, very good fitment, very loose.
Hold on, it doesn't, the picture of the angle goes the other direction, but I could be.
What now?
The swoop, is that right?
What are you talking about? The other one's gonna go opposite.
Okay.
You said clockwise, right?
Yes, I did.
Clockwise?
Clockwise.
Okay, so that would be counterclockwise. So, okay, hold on. So what? They said clockwise.
Yes, is that right?
So this is counterclockwise.
Okay.
From above.
Okay.
So then I'm gonna grab the other blade. Okay, so this is counterclockwise. Sorry, folks. Now, how do I know what direction is up on a blade? Okay? How do we know?
I don't know. How do you know?
Well, first of all, I'm gonna torque this down so I don't forget and have it fly off and hit my face hole.
Okay.
Can you go back and give them a different view, please? Like over there. See this? Look. I'm gonna torque this, go back a lot. Okay, see this? Mm-hmm. When I tighten that, this event, that is really loose. Good Lord. Like really loose. Like it feels, oh, there it goes. It finally started biting. Now it's tight. Now I can back it off just a hair. You want these to hold steady horizontally, and then if you were to rack it, it'll fall down, okay? So how do we tell if they're up or down? Well, on these blades, it is actually really hard to tell. They are symmetrical, I think. That is crazy. Like these blades are extremely symmetrical. I thought I was gonna say it like all smart alecky, but like honestly, I don't know. That's a good question. Okay, so clockwise would be going this way. So I guess that puts this one this way. Guys, I'm really sorry. I don't know how to advise you. This looks absolutely symmetrical.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of different blades that are rarely symmetrical anymore. Those big ones are definitely not symmetrical. The flywing ones are super obvious.
Yeah.
So yes, this is very weird. So I'm gonna just go with their symmetrical blades.
Okay.
It's not impossible that they could be, okay? So by the way, when we undo this, there's a lock washer that's down below, and I want you to give them a shot from underneath if you can, so they can see how that lock washer, hon, from the side you were on, because I'm gonna be working over here. You see how it sits up into the pocket? If you get ahead of yourself, you may do it in such a way that it doesn't seat down into the pocket and it'll spin on you. So once it spins, it usually just sort of falls into place. See how it popped out? Mm-hmm. Push it up into the cavity and then it holds it. So you won't need a tool to hold the bottom, right?
Right.
Except that I've managed to now jinx myself. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of bizarre. Yeah, it's like round on the bottom. Hon, would you hold that, please?
The helicopter?
No, the blade at the end. Thank you. After all these years, I figured you would know how to read my mind by now.
Yeah. When you learn to read mine, I'll learn to read yours.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yeah.
Dang it. Well, I guess there's no hope for us.
Nope.
Okay, so I torqued it down. It's tight. I'm going to just leave that there. Oh, yeah, real tight. Okay, you can let go now.
Okay.
So now it's looser. That's way too loose. That's tight. It's one of these. It's one of these, guys. What that means when I say it's one of these, it's way too tight or it's way too loose. Okay? Which is annoying. Okay. Turn on its side. I don't think I have it right, by the way. Yeah, too tight.
Too tight.
Okay, those should break. Okay, I will say this. I like that they're just black, but I really like a painted tip better because it makes it a lot easier to see it. And from a safety standpoint, I like to see it.
Yeah.
That's probably close. Okay, that might be, this one needs to go back a little bit. Now, there's some people that will have different opinions on this. My suggestion is it's better to be looser than tighter. That's been my experience. I could be wrong. I have limited experience here. Okay. Do you see how this one broke earlier than this one? This one held better. See how this one went further? That's how we're gonna know what to tighten now. So I'm gonna go in here and tighten this. And yeah, there is no exact equation. I mean, that was like a 32nd of a turn. It's very finite at this point. And it becomes somewhat subjective. So you need to be prepared to understand this is subjective, okay? Oh, geez.
So that one's...
I tightened it.
Right.
Why did it loosen? That is bizarro. Maybe I didn't. Okay, so I tightened it some more. Let's see. Guys, I will tell you, I've had a few helis that have a very tight blade grip. See, now it's too tight. Okay, so let's work it just a little bit and see if that helps. The other thing is if you get a little kicker on there, that stuff is slick like oil. Probably because it is. Okay, so now we're gonna back this off just a hair. I mean, you just go to the point where you can feel pressure and then stop, which is awkward. Because you know for sure you're gonna overshoot and undershoot like 40 times.
Are you happy with the other one that is breaking for you?
I'm gonna tighten this one. Okay, I'm gonna use the tool they provided. So you can see this, guys, look. I'm gonna torque this down just a hair. By the way, that 2.5 millimeters is sloppy as all get out. Watch where I am. I'm gonna move like barely, I'm gonna go a 64th. There's a 64th. Did they both move?
They did.
This one moved further though.
Yes.
Goodness gracious. See, this is the sort of stuff that will drive you wacky. I'm gonna go 122nd.
Do you want to get out a, how would you measure that?
You would measure it with, you'd measure it with,
Ooh, that seemed.
I don't think I'm gonna get it any
No.
better than that, guys. Okay, let's do one more test without tightening, okay? This is when you know you work on measurement systems. Anybody who's ever worked with me as one of my customers will understand.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you hire a anal retentive person. They do this for a long time until it's perfect.
Yeah.
And then somebody like breaks it immediately.
Yes.
I just scratched my head. Oh, it's ridiculous. Okay, I'm gonna do a 268. I can't even do the math anymore in my head.
Too much.
It is not very exact.
At what point is it good enough? Because like.
When it's the same.
Okay.
What, do you have a problem with that?
I'm gonna go to bed. Let me know when you're done.
Yeah, next week. Oh, God. There is no way. I don't even understand how that can be. I don't see, and this is what you'll run into, folks. It's not really meant to be some sort of an exacting thing. You just want a little bit more pressure so that when they break about even, okay? Every second you spend on this is potentially a second you're not spending replacing the helicopter, okay? So remember, if you're new to the hobby and you're just not really sure, spend the extra time, work the blades, it will matter and it will change the bite. But for now, I think that's good. So now, our next move, by the way, it's done. It's cooked. Now we just have to take the time to, namely, figure out how to get the battery in there and also put decals on. I must say, it looks really good.
Yeah.
It looks better in some ways than the Flish, and that's a lot more expensive heli. But it also looks worse in some ways than the Flish because it's smaller. But I gotta say, the Ordnance package, the two-tone finish, I'm not sure if I like the two-tone finish myself.
Really?
No. I don't know if I like it. I want it to just be the one color. But it does look good. So I mean, it's definitely realistic looking, okay? So that being said, I'm not sure I like this on a Cobra either. Did they have one on that one?
No.
I can't tell. So this is I don't even know exactly what that's supposed to do. But this does look a lot like the 206 helicopter platform, which stands to reason because this is a Bell helicopter, right? Is it Bell, the Cobra? Yeah, it'd be an AH-1W 470. I thought it was a Bell.
I don't actually know.
Or who makes it now? Anyway, let me know in the comments below how far off base I am. I'm sure you will, even without me asking your opinion. Okay, so now is there a decal picture?
I think that's it right there that you're looking at.
Oh, this is the decal picture? Okay, guys. So if you're ever looking for this manual and you want to try to download it, my suggestion is go like you're going to buy the helicopter. So look in the video description below, click on the link, go like you're going to buy it. There should be some supplemental information there that you can use to find the manual if they exist.
Maybe.
Okay, they don't always exist, but that's generally speaking how it works with a Brian Phillips RC link, okay? We have links to buy stuff to help support Brian Phillips RC and the things that we do for the RC community, which is basically largely unbox build radio setup is what we bring that the other guys aren't doing most of the time. And then what we do is we will fly the helicopters, but you see it in reverse order. Then you get to make your decision as to whether or not you think it's good enough. So we're gonna take a second, get set up for decals. In fact, why don't we do this real quick? We'll do this together. I do this one of two ways. I use a saucer type plate. You know, it's got a little bit of depth to it. You don't wanna go too crazy deep. But I like to use hot water, okay? So I just use tap water. I don't get real fancy with this. A lot of times I'll take this opportunity because I've been, you know, scraping those Sterling kit stickers off and dealing with kicker and CA, so I will wash my hands because I don't want the oil from my hands to get under the decals if possible. Also, I have my X-Acto knife still over there, which is nice. And so what I will do is I will cut one of these. Do you know where one of the decals goes? Just give me like the Marines.
The big Marines one is gonna go back here on the tail.
So all you gotta do is like give them a shot so they can see where I'm cutting. There is a kind of like a pseudo clear area, and you can see right around the decal. That's gonna hold the decal together. And so it'll make it a lot easier to apply it because it's gonna hold all the letters together. If you've ever tried to do a decal where the letters separate, oh my goodness, it sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is like hot. And that's the way I like it. So I'll stop the water, I'll flow it in there, and then, you know, it doesn't have to be very deep. You see, all I've got is just a couple millimeters deep. And then I'll stick this in here face down for a second, just to make sure I totally submerge it. And then I'll flip it over and just make sure it gets under the water, because that'll start to release the adhesives, and it'll soak into the paper and all that. I don't quite have enough depth. I'm gonna go just a little bit more. And then I like to reuse the same water as much as possible, because then the adhesive from the previous sticker will sort of migrate into the water. I've got a cat hair in there, so it's helpful if you can keep as many cat hairs as possible under your decals for maximum adhesion. Okay, so you see it's already coming off. Good Lord, that is fast. Okay, so then camera crew, where is this going? Is this going on the boom?
Yes, and it's gonna go in front of this tail fin here.
Okay.
See?
Yeah, I do. So you keep pulling it away. I'm trying to look at it. Okay, so it's right in front of the tail fin here. Okay, so look, it's already floated off, guys. Look at this. This is crazy how fast that worked. So I'm gonna catch it with my label or with my backing. Okay, now you can transfer it to the other backing or just do it the easy way, which is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just walk this right off. Just kind of paying attention to the decal instructions. So we'll just run that along, get it nice and square. You can walk it around. This is why I love water transfer decals, because they're so dang quick and they really do look nice if they're good quality. Now, the other thing is these are clear, clear, clear. If there is a media that needs to be removed tomorrow after it dries, then that's clear right now, which is nice. Now, one other tip, you don't always have to do this, but there's two ways to do it. You can use a wet rag or you can use a dry rag. It depends on how touchy the decals are. These decals are really like they release super quick. And so I'm gonna take like a brand new napkin. I'm gonna fold it over so I've got like 4 thick, and I'm just gonna press. And I'm just gonna press it. And I'm just gonna try to get some of the air out so that those rivets show through nicely, okay? Beautiful decals. Now you're gonna get more sheen and gloss finish until that clear coat piece comes off tomorrow. Now, if you get the kind that have pink, don't freak out. Most of the time they come off, okay? We have had one FMS F-16 that never came off. And it was very frustrating because that was a beautiful plane and I was so pissed because we set up all sorts of stuff on that plane and I wanted it to be everything it could be, and it wasn't, because it always looks stupid. Had that stupid pink on it.
Yep.
But I also had the pink on the Cobra from Flish, and I was scared to death that it wasn't gonna come off. Came out, 10 minutes, pulled it all off.
We almost didn't put the decals on because we were so nervous about it.
Which I'm really glad we did, because the decals look sweet. And by the way, I would say this is a very plain looking finish on this livery, but even just the Marines alone makes a huge difference. The shark mouth, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna pretty much do all of them. Now, sometimes they give more than one livery. And so you gotta be a little bit careful if you're gonna commingle your liveries. So just be aware of, sometimes it's a little easier to have an X-Acto knife handy because they will try to float off like that first one did. You see how it's starting to float and separate?
Yep.
I wanna pull this out first so it can stay on the paper at least. But yeah, that warm water will make it work really fast, guys. See that? It's already lifting, okay? So then it's just like so easy that I feel like this part of the video, I feel like this is almost getting to the point of we don't want to insult anybody's intelligence either. And by the way, if you need help and you hear a comment like that, don't worry, I'm not trying to give anybody a hard time. I want everybody to find success in this hobby that can possibly do it. Because at the end of the day, you know, I love this hobby, and we say this all the time, there's a million different ways that these companies could make a buck. And they're 100 times easier than making a helicopter or making an airplane. Now, I'm not saying that there's not merit and value in that. There absolutely is, and I want them to keep doing it. But I'm also a realist. I mean, you could go collect garbage and probably make more money than building helicopters for a lustful RC enthusiast audience like what's watching this video right now, okay? We are definitely ready, willing, and able to snatch up all sorts. I'm wetting my fingers and I'm gonna just get this one spot wet, and watch this. I'm gonna take this thing, the transfer paper thingy, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of this schmutz on there, okay? Because you see the M got weird. See that? I'm concerned that's gonna peel off. You gotta get out of my light. Thank you, much better. So if I can try to get my nail, I don't wanna rip it. I'm afraid I'm gonna rip it. So look what I'm doing. Can you go back so I can see what I'm doing? Fingers and just a little bit of moisture up onto the decal that's now applied. This was not released near as much as the other. So it kind of stretched the M just a hair. And I don't like that. So I'm gonna actually soak this over the top for a minute. And I'm gonna see if I can get it to slide. I should have wet the surface just a wee bit more. But you know what? This might have been just a more stretched out decal, I wonder. I can't tell. But I would say the rest of it went on pretty good. So I'm gonna see if I can just walk it. I'm just gonna work this, put a little bit of pressure and a little bit of pull, and it just does not wanna move. And I don't know whether or not to be annoyed or just kind of go with it. I feel like it's close. Man, I don't know. I'm gonna regret it if I don't try to fix it. Every time I try to fix a decal that does this to me, I'm just gonna warn you guys, every freaking time I do, I end up screwing it up worse than it was. So let's do it now. Let's do it. You see how it's peeled up? Do not block my light, please. I get one shot at this, hon. See that? I've got it lifted now, guys. Look at this. See that clear? That's what I'm talking about right there. So it's lifted. So now I got to take some of this water and get it in there behind it. So I'm going to squeeze the water, and you see it's just the polarity of the water. If you can get it in there behind it, it'll be fine. And then you'll be able to reposition things and make it look really good. Ah, yeah, I got it. See? That is like the first time. There's first time for everything. See it? Now that seam is even all the way along. The gapping from the top of the S to this line, that's what I was going for. Sweet. Okay, good. And that clear is definitely gonna come off of there. I can already tell. And I hope I'm not proven wrong, but you know what? I'd rather be lucky than wrong. Wait, hold on. That's not the way that goes. Okay, so there you have it. We're gonna work through the rest of the decals because honestly, the decals are the decals. We might take a clip when it's done so you can see what it looks like, or we might take a clip when we're peeling off the clear as an example of what you can expect. They do recommend one other detail with regard to setting this model up, and that is gonna have to do with testing the CG. So the center of gravity, they're suggesting that you grab this thing, but as with any other helicopter, you can grab by the actual blades. So that's what I'm gonna do. Now, this battery is still charging, good Lord. Look at it, it's at 4 volts per cell. Look, 4.09. Oh, I thought it was 4 volts. I'm like, that's taking forever. Okay, so let's show you how you would charge it if you were gonna use a proper charger. Obviously, if you're doing this type of hobby, you already have a faster charger than that thing in most cases. So I'm gonna use this little extension cord. I wanna plug it in my Spectrum Smart Charger. This one's a lot more wattage. It's gonna go a lot quicker, but we have to turn it on and set it up. So we'll click, we'll scroll up. It is a 4S, but we're gonna set this to 4.8 amps. Okay, and then we'll go to start, and we're gonna start. And while it's going, we can look at this. we can see it's starting to balance everything, which is nice. And you can see how many milliamp hours going. So we'll just let that finish off the charging. Now, full disclosure, this charger will work. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that it's kind of slow. So we're gonna just let this not be the way we're gonna do it. But it would have worked if we would have just given it the rest of the time while we were doing decals. So for instance, the 5-minute setup that they falsely claimed was total malarkey. Unless of course you're gonna do it without decals. You're not gonna do the ordnance and you're just gonna take off right out of the box. You could hypothetically do that and you'd be fine to do it. But my suggestion is squeeze every bit of life out of these helicopters as you can because they are absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so we'll come back after a minute, see how the CG tests. What we need to do is we have to actually put the battery in, strap it, you know, kind of get the battery leads close and just make sure it's about right. You can move it forward a little bit, back a little bit, and that's gonna make up for the difference. And all you wanna do is just see that the helicopter hangs about even instead of hanging the tail like it is right now so bad. You want it to hang even, okay? All right, guys, without further ado, depending on how this goes, we appreciate you watching this video. We hope that we've answered all your questions about the unbox, the build, and of course, the radio setup portion is largely done for you, but keep in mind, we do have to add our own 4 AA's. So we're gonna go ahead and do that off camera. Oh, camera crew's already got them. Okay, so we'll just pop these open. So we switched to a new, more expensive battery from our Harbor Freight, practically free batteries that they were like throwing at us every time we went in there. I'm just joking, they stopped selling them. But now we get the Amazon batteries, guys. We'll link to the Amazon AA's in our supplies tab. That's another way you can support Brian Phillips RC if you go to bprc.me/supplies. And one of the weirdities of these rather expensive helicopters is that they don't come with, okay, up, okay. And this is in run. Now it's not. So if you want to set up a timer, you can. It's in setup here. There's a protective screen on here right now. You have to press and hold this. It'll unlock, then you can go into menu, you can go to system. You can change, this is a scroller. Okay. Screen lock, about, you go to function, sub trim rates, throttle curves, mix, fail safe, auxiliary channels. Okay. I do want to see the aux channels real quick. So aux channels, looks like key 2 is channel 9, and then channel 10 is none. So what we could do is at some point we could reassign this over here, and then we could probably use channel 10 to potentially do what we need to do. But I don't know what type of receiver we've got. I'm assuming it's either 9 or 10 or something more. But we'll find that out at some point. To turn this off, you press and hold both of these. Okay. To turn it back on, you press and hold these. Okay. Gotta put that up. Then throttle cut back down. Timers, you can set those up. They suggested a 6-minute timer to start. So let's go setup, inactive, up, setup, inactive. Oh, you got to scroll? Oh, there you go. Okay, so if you want to set this, then you would have to go setup, inactive. Why does it say inactive?
How do you make it active?
I was going to say, that's ridiculous. And then timer 2, setup, inactive. Okay, well, evidently you have to turn the timers on somewhere. We'll find out how to do that quick. Okay, so here's what I did wrong. Setup is inactive because it's already got a timer. It's a count up timer. So I'm going to stop it, reset the timer, and I'm going to go to up. Then I can switch to whatever it is. So you could down, then you can go setup, then you can change your timer to 6 minutes. Check mark. That might be 6 hours. So let's go back out. How does it start?
Well, they suggested tying it to the run switch, but
I don't care about what they suggested. I care about what it's set to. It already says what it's supposed to be set to, If you look right here, ASSI. Oh yeah, it says assign. So reset switch, I don't know. Probably, what would we do? Return to home?
Well, we don't use switch B.
Enable switch.
Sorry.
Let's do enable switch. Run, so that would be whatever this is. So that's switch A. And let's say up. See how it's fun, this touchscreen? Up. Okay, so that's gonna start it. And then how do we wanna reset it? I don't know if there's a real good way to do it because I don't wanna waste my buttons because we're using them for stuff. So let's try reset. Just for fun, we'll go to switch B. And this could be middle or whatever. So we'll just do middle, okay? So then what's gonna happen is when you're ready to fly, he'll start counting. Oh, but then it stops. See that? Oh, that's pretty good. So it's in run mode. It counts down, it'll reset, and then keep running. Reset, keep running. Got it?
Okay.
Okay, pretty good. Okay, so that's good. Now you learned something you didn't know how to do and I didn't know how to do and you probably didn't need to know. But the timer is a nice feature if you need it, okay? So that's ready to go. Obviously you have to provide your own AA's in there, which is something that might be a little bit off-putting for some of us. I personally think it's probably not that big a deal on a model of this magnitude. Okay, so we're gonna work decals right now, let the battery finish charging, and then we'll come back with an update when everything is done or when we're pulling off the plastic. Ways to support channel, smash the like button, click the bell for notifications when you do subscribe so you can get notified of brand new content from Brian Phillips RC, which is always right around the corner. We have boxes, literally boxes and boxes of stuff. Lots of stuff showing up this week. It's kind of overwhelming right now. And then we also have other ways you can support us. If you don't want to buy this helicopter, it's not right for you, you can head over to brianphillipsrc.com or bprc.me if you don't know how to spell my name. And you can check out, sorted by type, all the different products we've reviewed over the years. And it will take you to the playlist at YouTube, or it will take you to the place where you can buy it if you already know you want it. So that's pretty cool. You could compare and contrast in that way and help make sure you're making a good judgment call between products. Because remember, everything looks good online until you see some guy struggle to put it together and then crash it into a tree. That's what we do. Okay, other ways to support us. Patreon for monthly support, or opposite, we've got YouTube members, which is the monthly support, as well as YouTube super thanks. And then of course, PayPal, if you don't want to be part of those clubs, we totally get it. And we have that offering there for people that want to support us directly, but maybe don't have the budget for this right now. For one reason or another, they don't want to buy a helicopter, airplane, quad VTOL, battery, transmitter, receiver, whatever it is that we're reviewing at the time that's going to help get you deeper and more satisfied by this hobby. So hopefully we answered your questions about this product. There will be a couple of quick updates at some point, possibly on the CG and the decals, and we'll look forward to seeing you then. But if it's in the morning, we appreciate you watching. Stay tuned, so much more right around the corner. And thanks for being here with us on Brian Phillips RC. All right, so it's the next night, and as you can see, it looks phenomenal. And yes, even these little decals have relief cuts that they sit into, which is really, really nice. Okay, so now I just wanted to show you, I haven't peeled anything off of these, but I want to give you one example of the clear coating. Camera crew is going to do our best to stay out of the light.
Do you need light? Does that help?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
So I don't even know if this is supposed to peel off. But if there were one that like ripped off, it'd be this one. I wouldn't care, okay? See that? Mm-hmm. You guys see? If yours were pink, just keep sticking to my finger.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you the process. Camera crew, can you please take that just off of my hand? Okay, so then I'm gonna just find another one. Shine on the light. Go to the negative space. Pull in such a way that you don't take the decal. See how it gets an edge up? And then usually I like to press down the decal and it will get it started. Okay. Then once it starts like this, then it's just a matter of off peeling the clear. See?
Yep.
And then it just balls up. And all you have to do is just hit each of the decals until you're done. And remember, this is the next day. So it's like almost 24 hours, but not quite. I'm just kind of using the edge of the blade to get this started. This one didn't get the edge all the way. See how there's a little clear there? There we go. So sometimes this works really good and sometimes it doesn't. But I just want you to see, it's not like super hard to do, but it is awkward. And you don't want to stab yourself on camera. We've already established that that's not a good move. Mostly from trying it.
What do you do with my fingernail?
Nope. Okay. So as you can see, once all that clear stuff comes off, you need to shine the camera at the work, hon. You are not shining it at the thing. So here's the deal, guys. If you buy one of these things from the link, you'll help support Brian Phillips RC. And you'll also support companies that support Brian Phillips RC, which is really nice because there are a few companies that sell these evidently. And they don't support Brian Phillips RC. In fact, they're pretty much not our partners. So if you have to make a choice and you like what we do here, follow the links in the video description below. It's easy, it doesn't cost you anything, but it does help fund our efforts here. And we would really be appreciative if you guys would follow the links in the video description below. Or head over to brianphillipsrc.com or bprc.me. There it goes. See? There you go. Give him like an extreme close-up.
Yeah, I can see you.
So every time we do it, and it is hard to see what's going on. So for that reason, I'm going to stop the video. We'll pull them off and just give you one last look. It's going to look exactly the same. But yours might not be as clear as ours were. This is the first time we've had a decal set with the protective coating that's that clear. Don't leave it on there. It'll come off when you least expect it and it might peel the decal, okay? So we're gonna work through that real quick and we'll come right back when we're done. All right, so all the decal covering is off and that is a sweet looking helicopter. I gotta say, it looks really good. Stupidest looking part is the tail rotor. It's got this dumb looking fan, but then the rotor is awesome, okay? This looks fine. The black, I feel like if it was flat black, it might look a little cooler, but I can tolerate that, okay? But what the heck are you thinking, guys? I mean, and same thing with Flywing. Let's get some tail rotors that look better. Because if there's one thing that Flish is doing nice, they've got a little bit better looking tails. The problem is they're still really small proportionally for what they should be, okay? Remember here on Brian Phillips RC, we show all the stuff, not just the good stuff, okay? Remember, you may not agree with me that the tail rotor looks like crap, but let's just agree that it looks like crap. It won't look like anything when it's running. So it's not gonna be a big deal. You see how I did that? I peel up with my pinky and then I take it up and out, and that pokey thing will help with that. So we're gonna show you loading the battery real quick, and this should conclude the video. Gotta put away a tool, the stabber device. It did make it a lot easier. Okay, so there's a nice heavy duty strap, and the XT60 will fall down if you're not careful. This is like a super heavy duty strap. That's crazy. I'm wondering if we're gonna have to do some sort of a shelf liner to keep this 4,800 milliamp hour 4S pack from slipping and sliding. Okay. I think we're gonna do some shelf liner.
Okay.
This is something I didn't anticipate doing, but we're gonna do it anyway. Shelf liner is super easy to add. It costs next to nothing. And so we're gonna show you how to do it. This is some solid shelf liner. We have links to shelf liner on our supplies at brianphillipsrc.com, also known as bprc.me. Okay. So I don't wanna cover up all the holes and make a giant mess. So I'm just gonna do something like this, you know, just a little something to catch it with. Now, if you don't want to get glue all over everything, I tend to agree with you. I don't want to either. But on this, since I don't know exactly where it's going to end up working out, I'm just going to glue a little bit on the surface with some China glue. This is an FMS product. But they have China glue is made all over China. It's a contact adhesive. And what you do is you just go into your kitchen, get your Q-tips out, and spread a little bit of this contact adhesive onto the surface there. And just imagine, if you don't know what this glue is like, it's kind of like rubber cement when you're growing up, if you grew up in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, whatever.
And then 1900s.
Anytime in the 1900s, then you will have used this stuff. You just didn't know it. And it came in like a jar
A brown
with
glass
a
bottle.
dipstick in it.
Yep, the lid and a
pull,
brush.
Do you pull the brush out? Then you made boogers and you threw them at your friends.
So immature.
Whatever, you did too.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
Not even once.
I'm sure you did. You just don't even remember. See, for you, you blocked it out. For me, it was like the highlight of the day. So let's put this in here. This is gonna suck to load this battery. Some helicopters, you can just tell because this has got a thin body on it. And it's gonna be awkward. And you see, let's hope it's easier than it looks, because it looks like it's gonna suck, and I think it's gonna suck. So I could be wrong. Okay, first things first, turn on, all switches up, back to lock, okay? I'm gonna reset my timer, okay? So then we're gonna lift up this strap, and just because I kinda have to, I'm gonna pull this up and out like this. And then I'm gonna drop this down with the lead going forward, okay? Why am I going forward? Because, like, frankly, I don't know the best way to reach all this stuff, and I think that's what we're gonna have to do. Then I'm gonna feed this back through. It does slide through nicely. It's a big, heavy-duty D-ring sort of thing. So we were talking about this off camera about how this is supposedly a Wolfbush. Wolfbush. I don't know what marketing team came up with that name, but
They should have tried
obviously
harder.
should have tried. Yeah, we think so too. That being said, this is a Roban product, which I don't know. That is probably not the way to do it. So I'm gonna just slide this back. Whoa, you can go way back. Okay. Kind of like when you're talking about when I was in elementary school. Mm-hmm. Okay, you might want to stay back. Okay. Just remember, if it starts taking off, we have insurance.
Great.
Yeah, and it's our house. So it's kind of like, it's my party, and I can cry if I want to. So let's turn this back like that. Oh, that is so cool. So that moves. So you can shoot the bad guys, okay? Then LED patterns. Oh, cool. By the way, there is a light down here.
Oh, yeah.
See it?
Yes, I do now.
So you got the strobe, got the 333, got solid, and this one fades all the time, which I love. Oh, and by the way, this is going to, of course, we are still in cut, just to be clear.
Yes.
Okay. So because we're in cut, I'm just gonna step back just a hair, and camera crew's gonna scooch back like this. Can you? Right there. I'm gonna just go angle to make sure nothing spools up. Now you can see it moving. Okay.
You can also see the green light in there flashing, so it's trying to acquire.
See it?
Yeah.
Very nice. So you can definitely see, then collective up, collective down you won't see, okay? In angle, but in manual you will. So I just wanna make sure nothing's gonna spool. Up, down, there we go, okay? So that is pretty sick. Now, because this is the two-bladed, or whatever, I'm not actually sure what the heck we call that. I wanna see both, so I have it at an angle, okay? Up, down. Okay, so everything's working in the right direction. And this thing looks so cool, okay? I love it, the way it looks. I'm changing the light mode.
Whoa.
Whoa.
There's like 8 different light modes.
Then there's another light mode.
Just flashing.
Then there's solid. Then there's off. Then there's the standard. Then there's the flash. Oh, is that alternating? Dip, 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 dip.
Yes.
Dip, dip.
It is.
Okay, now. Whoa, cool. That looks so cool. And then we've got solid fade in, fade out.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then, does that also? No.
No, I don't think so.
And then all solid on, solid off. Okay, so on. So that'd be like the default. And as you can see this one here, if you guys can't
see it on the
pick it up. So I gotta say, they definitely got Flish beat on that.
Yeah.
Because having a lighting system installed, which, you know, frankly, you would think is a pretty much an obvious thing. We've got one light on that thing and it cost thousands of dollars. And this thing is less
than that.
So that is so cool. And I can't wait to be out and point the attack weaponry at the little bad guys. Yes, this does move, but it's not servo driven. Okay. So let's check CG and then we'll be done with this unbox build radio setup. Now keep in mind, folks, here on Brian Phillips RC, we try to leave no stone unturned. I'm gonna hold from blades. You can hold from this cylinder thing, they say, but I don't trust it either. I'm just gonna hold from the 2 screws.
It's like,
totally it's literally perfect, okay? So I don't need to slide anything anywhere, it's done. And that looks fantastic. So cannot wait to see it. I'm gonna give you a shot from the other side because obviously the colors are different. I'm gonna go ahead and change the light mode once. Okay, I'm gonna do the alternating colors. That is so cool. I love it. Way to go. Sterling Kit has this waiting for you right now. Check the link in the video description below. Obviously, you've already seen it fly. Is this gonna be a separate unbox build radio setup?
No.
Not on this one?
The flight will be at the beginning.
Okay, so the flight will have already happened. So you guys saw that hopefully anybody can fly this and it doesn't blow up in a million pieces. But if it does, it'll be very exciting. I'm trying to figure out how to tell. Okay, so shut them off and then turn them on. That gets you back to like the stock default, configuration.
Yeah. And I think it goes back to the default when you power cycle it, I believe is what the instructions said.
Okay, awesome. So at the end of the day, complaint number 1, this is not a 5-minute build. That's a lie, okay?
They said 20. The box says minutes, the manual says 20. It wasn't either of those things.
If they want you to use 15-minute epoxy, it's not gonna be a 20-minute build, okay? Unless you're magic, okay? But the decals are optional. All the fittings that we added in here, whether it be the missiles or the rocket pods or any of the antennas or you know, blade cutters, the cutters, you're gonna spend, I figure the average Joe's probably gonna spend about 2 hours on this. And if you're picky like me, maybe 3. If you're filming it, 7. But it wasn't a bad setup. It's just a lot of steps.
Yeah.
Okay. So as usual, China takes liberties where China feels like taking liberties. Best manual we've ever seen. Hands down.
On a Heli, 100%.
It is not as good maybe as a Blade Heli. Because the Blade Heli are really, they're refined nicely.
Right.
But I think it's probably it's on par. if not, you know, just a little bit less, okay? Yeah. Seems like it was written by a native English-speaking author, which is good. And that helps a lot when you're talking about a technical flight experience. And the labeling is clear, it makes sense, and it's easy to understand. So there's a lot of things that this has going for it.
Yeah.
What it doesn't is how beautiful the tail rotor is. And then having a spinner adapter is lame. That seems like the biggest afterthought I've ever seen on an aircraft. Having a motor exposed is not a big deal. We're sort of used to that with the thickness of this body though. I feel like that was a big miss. They could have had that sucked in there all the way flush because look how thick it is. Mm-hmm. There's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for this. This, it could be better, but it's not the end of the world. If it flies well, this passes, okay? Muster. Beautiful decals, absolutely beautiful details. The scale lines work better when it's not leaning back and hitting the table or the counter, okay? In my opinion. Also, this is a different vintage of Cobra than I think the Flish might have been a slightly different age variant.
Okay.
So because there's different ages and different accessory build outs on all aircraft, you're gonna have slight differences, just even if you're, you know, comparing Cobra to Cobra to Cobra. That is so cool. So also it comes with a good sized battery, looks high quality, charger is So there's your 10,000 foot view of the beautiful 470 class Wolfbush Roban Cobra, which is an AH something or another.
1W. I think
I don't know. We will have it in the title. So if you want to know what it is, check it out. At the end of the day, I'm going to call this a Cobra because that's what it is to me. And I love the Cobras. I love flying airplanes. I love flying helicopters. And when they're scale, I love them. Okay. Don't have to be an expert to do it. So if you're waiting for expertise that you'll never enjoy without working from zero to, you know, where you want to be, then look no further than a GPS heli drone. It will get you in the air. You don't have to know really what you're doing. But just remember, this is not sub 250. So if you're going to fly outside of a FRIA, remember that you may want to follow rules so you don't end up in the pokey. But remember, if you're in the pokey, check out brianphillipsrc.com. and you can watch all the videos. I'm gonna show you two different options. This one's like 30 or 40 bucks. It's very easy, we have links to it. This one's more expensive, it's a Sky module. You do not need to be hooked up to a Spectrum receiver to make that work. It can be hooked up to this very battery, which is just a 2S battery. You can even do a different battery. And there's all these different leads come with it. This just came alone because it's all self-contained. That's why we like the Ruco. Mm-hmm. And so you basically turn it on, and it acts as a broadcast module for remote ID. As a result, then all of the Karens in the neighborhood that have their phones out trying to figure out what drone is good and what drone's bad, because that's what people do, is they find things to pick on and they complain about it. But I will tell you this, if you're flying in freight, you don't have to worry about it. If you're flying a helicopter, if you're flying inside a building, you don't have to worry about it either. But just remember, GPS heli drone is not going to have all of its capabilities outside of GPS lock, okay? So if you fly under a bridge or you fly under a large obstruction or a tree and it loses GPS and it tries to return to home because the battery is low, you're going to crash. And you're not going to be the one doing it. It's going to go up and it's going to go into whatever it was. I hate it when they do that. So at the end of the day, I should probably just unplug this now. At the end of the day, it's your responsibility to figure out how you want to comply or not comply. This isn't the nanny state here on Brian Phillips RC. We really don't care what you do as long as you don't hurt the hobby doing what you do, okay? So remember, let's just respect our neighbors and friends. And one thing that I know about helicopters is that they're a lot more scary to watch fly. So keep it under control, make it look good, make people want to be in the hobby with us, okay? And that's what we ask if you're gonna do whatever you're gonna do. Also, there may be some remote ID characteristics in this. I have no idea. If there is, I'm not aware of it. I don't care. So at the end of the day, that's your thing. We'll let you guys decide. And then, like I said, taking out the battery should be no big deal. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the strap, let the slack out, and then I'm gonna lift the battery, and that shelf liner will help to hold the position of the battery with limited pressure down, okay? And as usual, the strap is like the wrong length, but this one is really thick, so it's hard to fold, but that will get better with time. I will also warn you that all this crap it's engaging right next to the canopy.
Oh, yeah.
So it is like really tight tolerances. See this? It is literally touching as I try to lower this. So when you're doing it, you may need to actually reposition the collective down and then reposition the collective up. Make sense?
Yep.
So you take your blades and you fold them like you're gonna be going, like you're gonna be climbing up, or excuse me, going down. And then you'll just return them to neutral when you're done, okay? That is all we got for you. Check it out, links in the video description below. Other ways to support us if you don't wanna do that, head over to Brian Phillips RC. You can compare it to the Flish, you can compare it to the fly wing offerings, you can compare it to any other GPS heli drone we've done in the 200 sizes and the 300 and 250 sizes, the smaller ones, which are still really expensive, by the way. So if you don't need the GPS functionality, you can get into some that have really good barometric altitude hold and really good downward facing LiDAR and or optical flow sensors. So you can get into a very beautiful helicopter that's gonna be a lot cheaper. But I'm gonna tell you what matters. Size matters. It looks better, it flies better, it's more impressive in the air, and I can't wait to see this in the air. So guys, check it out. Patreon, monthly support, YouTube members, monthly support. We appreciate you guys if you're supporters. One-time donations through Super Thanks and PayPal, all of which are accepted. And hopefully at the end of the day, we have given you the full truth, nothing but the truth. So help us God on Brian Phillips RC. Thanks for watching. Come back for more.